Hello, everybody. Ryan Lisk again here from Lisk Associates, and welcome to our onboarding video number 2. And so this video is for those of you who are going through the onboarding process. If you've made it to this phase, maybe you've already had meeting number 1 with your manager. Hopefully that went well and you got through the exercises okay. What we're going to do out of your 20-page onboarding report, we're actually going to go through the middle 6 pages. I'm going to tell you what the exercises are and have you work your way through those, and you will be prepared for your next conversation, your next onboarding conversation with your leader, your mentor, your manager. So let's go ahead and get started. If you flip to page 9, you're going to see an introduction called Integrating Behaviors and Driving Forces section. So in this section, we're going to look at 5 pages. So we've got strengths, we have conflict, areas for improvement, keys to motivating, and keys to managing. So we're going to start with the strengths page. So on page 10, it says potential behavioral and motivational strengths. I like to call these, so these are going to be things in your style that we would consider to be helps for you. So these help you get your job done, and so you have a bullet list here of all kinds of statements based on the answers that you put into the computer when you took your assessment. So here's what we're going to do for this particular section. For each statement, what I want you to do is rank the statement 1 through 5. So for instance, utilizes people to win and accomplish goals. Now I'm going to rank this statement 1 through 5, and here's the rating system. A 1 would be I totally disagree with that statement. A 2 would be I somewhat disagree with that statement. A 3 is a neutral. A 4 is I somewhat agree with the statement, and a 5, I totally agree with the statement. So for instance, if we look at number 1 again, utilizes people to win and accomplish goals. If I felt like I totally agreed with that statement, I could give that statement a 5. So I would write the number 5 here beside that statement. Being an optimistic leader. Let's say I somewhat agreed with that. Yes, I like that. I think that's a strength. So I give that a 4 and so forth. And I rank every statement on this list, a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So again, a 1, I totally disagree with the statement. A 2, I somewhat disagree. A 3 is a neutral. A 4, I somewhat agree. And a 5, I totally agree with that statement. Now, here's one thing I'm going to say about neutral. Some of your styles, you're kind of like, oh, I'm kind of that, I'm kind of not that. And it would be easy to put a neutral on many of these statements for you. I only want you to use neutral if it's something that hasn't happened to you before. If it's something that hasn't happened to you. So if you've never had experience being an optimistic leader and that statement's on your report, you can give that a neutral and just say that's never happened to me. Otherwise, I want you to have a lean one way or the other, an agree or a disagree, okay? So you're going to do that for the strengths page. Then you're going to do that for the conflict page, same exact exercise. Now, I will say this, on the conflict page, we call these hinders. These statements aren't going to be as positive as the last ones. So you're going to have to reflect a little bit on this to see how you agree or disagree with the statements. And then on areas for improvement, you're going to want to do the same thing. So you can see these would be areas for you to work on. All right. Now, for each of these statements, I'm going to ask your manager to have a conversation. So be ready to talk a little bit about why you gave that a 5 or what that statement might mean to you, those sort of things. So just be ready to have conversation about why you gave it a 1 or a 5 and which of the statements may be stuck out to you. So that's what you're going to do for those 3 pages. Then finally, on the last 2 pages, keys to motivating and keys to managing. Similar to what we did earlier, you have a longer bullet list here. What I would like for you to do is rank your top 3. So keys to motivating are about your wants. So what do you want in your job? What are some things that you want? And then on the keys to managing page, these are things that you need. What do you need to do your job? And so these are going to be things you'll share with your manager. Rank your top 3. Be ready to talk about why those are important to you and where you think they'll help you in your job. These should be some great thought starters, and this will lead to a little deeper onboarding conversation than you had sort of in the just get to know you onboarding session that you had in onboarding session number 1. So good luck with that. Take about 10 or 15 minutes to complete that exercise, and good luck in onboarding session number 2.